The Shires Way, created by All Mountain Adventures, is one of those routes that remind you that you don't need towering mountains to have an adventure. Crossing 6 counties through the heart of rural England, it strings together ancient trails, chalk ridges, peaceful waterways, picturesque villages, and centuries of history into one unforgettable journey. I will be starting at the little village of Goring-on-Thames. While the heatwave continues here all over the UK, I will be setting off on a journey through the English countryside around 6 counties. Leaving Goring today, I will be heading out into the midday sun as I head out into the Chilterns.
Oh wow, it feels good to be back on UK soil. It's going to be my first little bikepacking trip around the UK since returning home. It's been a little while, to be honest. It's been about a month. And the heat wave is still with us. Looking forward to the next couple of days or few days, however long this route takes, because it's around my old stomping ground. So it's fun to come back after 3 months away, and the first proper ride I'm going to be doing is around my old stomping ground. Around 6 different counties. Should be fun now. Because it is so hot, I'm able to carry very little. I'm gonna be bivvying, although I say I'm gonna be bivvying. Today's goal, I am coming round very close to where my mum lives, booked a bed for the night. So today, I've actually only got to do 60 miles, but it is boiling out here. But it feels really nice to be out on a bikepacking trip on familiar trails. Oh, it's so nice out here, especially when you're coming through these nice little bridleways under the shelter, in the shade under the trees. It's so good. I think this trip might require a few ice lollies along the way though. I'm going to be coming up towards Princess Risborough soon, and then down towards Tame, and then this route very nicely goes to one of my favourite childhood locations where young Josh used to go fly his kite, and then when he got a bit older he used to go jump his bike off there too. But that's a few miles away yet, but I'm looking forward to going through that beautiful little village. But for now, let's enjoy these shaded trails and maybe perhaps find a little ice lolly stop.
The trails around the Chilterns were so incredibly dry and dusty. The fields that are normally green were turning golden. Chiltern Hills are defined by their underlying chalk geology, and them chalk trails, bone dry, meant the trails were rolling fast. I had now left the shaded single track, and everything was continuing to get hotter and hotter. The only water around was the old Chinner quarry. Once a working chalk quarry, it was part of the area's long history of chalk extraction, with the pits eventually filling with water after operations stopped. It might look the most inviting water around here, but you wouldn't want to swim in it, as it would be similar to swimming in bleach.
I've done about 30 miles. I'm coming down towards, I'm near Princess Risborough, and I'm heading down towards Tame, where I think I'll pull off the course a little bit, grab some cold drinks, and hopefully some like rocket lollies or something. So hot out here. And probably should top up on that sun cream pretty soon. The lips are so dry. what beautiful ice lollies. I've done just about 40 miles so far today. I can tell I'm in my old stomping ground, lovely rolling hills. Can just fly through these miles. Nothing too technical, but just nice and fun and flowy stuff really. Probably got about 20 miles now until I get to my mum's tonight. But first I'm heading to one of my favourite little places, a beautiful little village called Brill, where I used to play on my mountain bike and fly my kite as a young little boy. It does mean I have to go uphill a little bit.
Rolling into Brill, a place that will always have a special place in my heart. Sitting high on the Buckinghamshire hills, this little village has a history stretching back centuries and sits on one of the highest points in the county, offering incredible views across the surrounding countryside. Overlooking it all is Brill Windmill, one of the village's most recognisable landmarks. The current windmill dates back all the way to the 1680s, although the site has a much longer history, with records suggesting a windmill stood here as far back as the medieval period. Perched on top of the hill, it was built to take full advantage of the exposed position and the strong winds sweeping across the landscape.
Well, it's been an absolutely stonking hot day, but it's been really fun. It's been nice to be on this lovely rolling countryside. Got a few miles now until I get to Bicester. A nice early finish for me tonight. Tomorrow I should be heading over into the around to the Cotswolds, so it should be another fun one, and also another hot one, of course. I'll see you bright and early in the morning. Not that early in the morning actually, but I'll see you in the morning at some point. Well, good morning. Good morning. Had a lovely sleep. A little visit to my mother. And now it's time for our first real proper day, our first full day on the Shires Way. It's gonna be another mighty hot one. So this is gonna get up to about 33 today, so we'll probably be stopping for some ice lollies. It's currently 9 AM and it's already close to that 30 degrees. The nice thing though, which, you know, I always feel like I don't get to experience it too often in the UK, is dusty, very dry trails. Yesterday, no overgrown stuff. Today, definitely a bit more potential as I head towards the Cotswolds. The next sort of 20, 30 miles to get there is going to be fairly road and back lanes like this as I head around towards Banbury and sort of that area. Some very dry trails. Right, let's head towards Banbury. It's really nice out here. It's still a little bit cooler, but I can feel that heat getting up.
The nice part about these parts of the Oxfordshire countryside is it's all fairly flat. Lots of fast, easy miles, flying along the backcountry lanes, and the dusty tracks this morning was so nice. The sun was already warming things up, but not enough to slow me down, not yet at least. But as I started to make it into some of the charming little villages around these parts, it was time to get some calories in for the day ahead of me.
Making very good progress today. I've done about 20 miles, just under 20 miles. I'm going to be coming for a little village called Bloxham, and then I'll be going around Banbury into the Cotswolds, which should be nice. It's definitely starting to heat up, but I'm just looking forward to getting across to the Cotswolds. I haven't ridden in the Cotswolds in absolutely ages, so it'd be nice to explore around there for a bit. Today I don't really know how far I want to get through this route. The nice thing is around here, it is very flowy. You can do lots of miles or not so many miles, really, depending on how you're feeling. I am planning to camp out tonight, of course. Well, camp is a loose word. I'm going to be bivvying. All I've got is my sleeping bag and a little bivvy. Could potentially get over towards the Ridgeway. Could have a nice bivvy along there somewhere. Possibly see some nice stars tonight. Well, it doesn't really get dark, does it? But should be getting over to the Cotswolds fairly soon. Well, I'm officially now in the Cotswolds. Done about just over 30 miles today so far, making good progress. I am getting to the really hot part of the day, so I've got about 10 miles, I think, until I get to a place called Chipping Norton. That will definitely be somewhere I'll be stopping off for a bit of lunch. And when I say lunch, I mean anything that's cold. Ice lollies, mainly. Looks like there's a few little overgrown bits around here, but hopefully I won't get too stung. So nice. So glad that was nice and downhill all the way to Chipping Norton. So I'm feeling lovely and refreshed after now up to 10 ice lollies on this trip. Now I'm heading into the Cotswolds a bit deeper. I'm going to go through a few very pretty villages later on as well. Although I'm kind of hoping that I can find fairly soon a nice little sheltered spot, hopefully by the river. Possibly I could dip the old toes in, but for now I've got to try and get through some of the more narrow and sharp right-of-ways, should we say. But I'm hoping I'm going to find a little river that I can dip the toes in and have a little refresh, because it's about 2 p.m. now, and that does mean we are heading to the hottest part of the day. Not so fun.
Since getting into the Cotswolds, that heat was really ramping up, and out here there just isn't much shade to be found. But I knew there was a little hidden gem of a village just around the corner. Bourton on the Water, known as the Venice of the Cotswolds, thanks to the River Windrush flowing through the centre of the village. Beneath its low stone bridges, regularly voted as one of the prettiest villages in England, and the most perfect spot to cool off for a couple of hours before continuing to follow the river Windrush.
It is now about 6 p.m. and while it is still boiling hot, there's a slight breeze in the air, a slight evening breeze, which is definitely starting to cool everything down a bit. So nice. I'm going to definitely make use of this evening and the cooler air. It's been an absolutely stunning day today. I've done just over 60 miles. I've probably got about 20 miles until I get to Cirencester. Now we are going to be coming up to all the lakes and stuff in the Cotswolds, which, if I can time it right, we might get a beautiful sunset. But it's been such a good day. While there's been a few little bits of overgrownness, I've actually been able to ride, I want to say pretty much all of it. Perhaps my narrow bars are a winning formula for this time of year. But I'm going to keep going, enjoy the evening as it cools down. It's still like nearly 30 degrees, 29, 30 or something like that. But I'm going to enjoy it next 20 or so miles and head towards Cirencester.
Whether I'm on an epic adventure or a more tranquil spin around the countryside like I am today, sometimes you just get these moments of clarity where everything falls into place. The worries that you had at the start of the day fade away and you become completely absorbed in the moment. And that was exactly what it felt like tonight. The air was just starting to cool ever so slightly, and I found myself completely at peace, all alone, looking over the last of the Cotswolds hills, taking it all in as I made my way towards the town of Cirencester. The sun was already getting very low in the sky, so it was a flying visit before I was back on the bike doing my best to catch the sunset over the Cotswolds lakes. After a bit of hard pedalling, I made it just in time to watch the sun disappear over the water. Cotswolds lakes are the result of decades of gravel extraction that has left behind more than 180 lakes spread across the landscape. The Cotswold Lakes is one of the most studied areas of archaeology in the UK. Remains from over 6,000 years of human habitation have been found, all the way from the early Stone Age to the current day.
Good morning. Yesterday I managed to do just under that 100-mile mark. I did 97 miles. I couldn't really go any further because where I am at like the Cotswolds Lakes and all this place, I'm going over to Cricklade next, and then I got to get through Swindon before getting over to the UK's oldest road. So yeah, I had to stop off, and I had to do a bit of overnight bird watching, which was always fun. Nice little bird hide. It's currently 4:53. I think the sun is rising pretty much now. I think officially it's about 5 a.m. sunrise, so should hopefully get a nice sunrise in a minute. But it was a cracking day yesterday, a scorcher of course, and it's looking like it's going to be another scorcher. I'm hoping I can get on and kind of through some of the Ridgeway today before it gets to that really high heat, because the Ridgeway is a pretty, I mean, I've ridden it lots of times, but in the baking heat, it can be a pretty relentless place. It's very exposed, and that sun will definitely be trying to burn me. But for now, I'm going to head towards Cricklade and then Swindon. I'm going to try and hopefully find a shop that's open, stock up on some water, and just have a bit of breakfast and get ready for the oldest road today. And also the finish, which is in about 50-ish miles.
That cool morning fresh air is so nice on my skin. After yesterday's absolutely scorcher of a day, it feels so good to be out here at 5 a.m. before anyone wakes up. This is the best thing about bikepacking, the early mornings. And the sunrises are not too bad either. Wow, it has been an absolutely glorious morning so far today, mainly because I have been following these old railway lines, cycle lanes. They've all been beautifully sheltered. It's just been absolutely glorious on the temperature front. However, I am now starting to climb up onto the Ridgeway, out into the heat, into the sun. It is still quite early, so it's not relentlessly hot yet, but it will soon start to be.
People have been travelling this ancient route for over 5,000 years, long before the Romans ever arrived in Britain. Following the high ground across the chalk hills, it gave travellers a drier, easier route through the landscape, while the valleys below were often boggy and difficult to cross. The chalk along the Ridgeway can be treacherous on a bike after it rains, but with how dry everything is right now, it was flying. The Ridgeway is a great place to ride, but there is also so much to discover along it too. Just like Wayland's Smithy, one of the best preserved Neolithic long barrows in Britain, built around 3600 BC, it served as a communal burial chamber for some of the first farming communities to settle here. Its unusual name comes from an old Saxon legend about Wayland, a mythical blacksmith who was said to reshoe your horse overnight if you left a coin behind. Just a little bit further along the Ridgeway, you'll find places like the Uffington White Horse, carved into the hillside, stretching over 100 metres across the chalk. The horse has watched over this landscape for around 3,000 years, making it the oldest hill figure in Britain, dating back to the late Bronze Age or early Iron Age. No one knows exactly why it was created, whether it was a tribal symbol, a religious monument, or something else entirely. We might just never know.
Oh my god, it is so nice out here today. There's actually quite a nice breeze, but the views you can just see for absolute miles today. It's so clear. Obviously, I am starting to heat up, but I am now at kind of like the highest point that I'll be following along the Ridgeway, so it is technically downhill from here, and just a quick pit stop because I've just seen it, and I'm always really good at missing these along the Ridgeway. These work. Nice tap. Lovely. Good stuff.
I was now on my final stretch of the Ridgeway, and my final stretch of the Shires Way. All I had to do was survive the extremely bright white chalk and make it over the last of the hills along this ancient road back towards Goring-on-Thames. The last 10 miles or so were definitely on my limit of riding in the heat. My mouth was dry and I was definitely ready to arrive back in Goring-on-Thames. But I pushed on, knowing that the end was near and I'd be descending towards the only thing that has kept me pedalling along this awesome little adventure around the Shires Way: ice lollies.